when two people travel to the opposite side of the earth, from snow to equator, and sail to the most beautiful beaches in the world.
Sailing in the Seychelles.
Stay tuned as we head to the Indian Ocean and explore one of the planet's most out-of-the-way island chains.
We're Jim and Ingrid, and while usually we're sailing our boat Indigo in the Pacific Northwest, sometimes we break away to sail other parts of the world. Join us as we explore the other side of the planet, Seychelles.
I think we were the only duo on a sailboat. There were several groups of people on catamarans, but other couples sailing alone, none as far as I could tell. It was really hot and humid in the marina as we boarded our boat and waited for our provisioning to show up. Fortunately, a surprise squall came through and cooled things off quite a bit. We were hopeful that once out of the marina, a nice breeze would come through the boat and the natural air conditioning of just being out on the water would make things a bit more comfortable.
Sailing in the Seychelles.
In the Indian Ocean.
And after traveling over 12,000 miles to get here, we finally got a taste of what Seychelles sailing was all about. This may be the most beautiful blue water we have ever seen. Just a whole different intensity of blue.
Ooh, how is it?
Wow.
This place is not easy to get to, especially when you live on the other side of the earth. We're traveling from the Pacific Ocean all the way to the Indian Ocean. It's a 3-hour flight to LA, then another 13 hours to Istanbul. After an all-night layover, another 9-hour flight to Mahe Island, Seychelles, about 600 miles east off the coast of Kenya and just 7 degrees south into the southern hemisphere. Then it's an hour ferry to the island of Praslin.
This is quite the adventure. We are now 12 hours ahead of Seattle, on the other side of the world, near the equator. 2 people sailing on a monohull, and possibly the only Americans. We knew it would be a challenge mooring in Digue Harbor. It's very small.
It's really not a marina. It's just a basin, probably big enough for about 15 catamarans.
Because we arrived around sunset, we found only one narrow spot to pull into. The harbor is crazy. There are small fishing boats, charter boats, catamarans, commuter ferries, all anchoring in the same space. It's stern tie only. You drop your anchor in the middle of the marina, then back in and tie up to a tree.
And this becomes quite a maze to navigate, trying not to cross all the other anchor lines, not to mention managing your dinghy at the same time.
Once we came ashore, though, we realized this was such a beautiful island that we decided to stay a few days. So we found a cute little apartment, 1 block from the harbor, with much-needed air conditioning, and set out to explore the island. The Seychelles culture is interesting. There's the African Creole heritage, the Indian heritage, and the French heritage, both distinct and blended. The language is primarily Creole and French, and some locals speak English with visitors. With this diverse melting pot, the food is an amazing mix of curries, Creole, fresh fish, and fruit. It was fun to duck into a French bakery for baguettes and croissants. The primary mode of transportation is bicycling. Everyone rides bikes, with very few vehicles on the island.
Hello. How are you doing today? Not too hot for you? How's it feel?
Like it looks rough.
I feel lonely, yeah. Feel lonely. I feel lonely, yeah. Feel lonely late at night.
The island of La Digue consistently ranks as having the most beautiful beaches in the world. Just a short bike ride away, the private Union Estate is home to Anse Source d'Argent, known as the most photographed beach in the world. Temperatures here have hovered around 87 degrees, and with humidity, the real feel is closer to 100. The water is also 87 degrees, making it actually feel warm, even on a hot day.
And there was this little thing that, I don't know if it's a fish, but it flew, and then it landed, and it flew, and it jumped out of the water. I don't know what it was.
In Paradise, it seems nearly every popular beach has its own rum bar. A few days earlier, we got a chance to tour Seychelles' own Takamaka Rum distillery on Mahe Island.
This is the pineapple.
That's the...
Yeah, she's right. You don't taste the alcohol.
But you taste the banana and the pineapple. And
Yeah, this could be dangerous.
Close to becoming a hand sanitizer, but diluted.
Uh-oh. Not that one, huh?
Back at Source d'Argent, we couldn't resist cooling off with rum drinks in the intense summer heat. Even the locals needed a little drink.
Back out on the water, we set out to explore the various other islands. While the locals were more than friendly and helpful everywhere we went, on the boat, we were pretty much on our own. Nobody answered their cell phones or even the VHF radio. The boat was pretty bare bones, which is typical for a charter monohull, although this one seemed to be a bit more bare than normal. So what happened?
Somehow got wrapped around the top and then wrapped around itself, and I had to thread it back in through the top, which was not easy to do.
As usual in sailing, there's always some new challenge to work through. We were a little limited on how much we could push this boat. Sails were old, and we seemed to be permanently reefed. reefed.
It's reef.
Yeah. And being unfamiliar with the area, when our chart plotter went out, we ended up relying on the Navionics on our iPad to get around. It's a good backup, though, that we always bring with us. Actually, I think most people who come here to sail on holiday hire a captain. But dealing with the challenges is part of sailing. We still made it to our next destination. An island with some unique inhabitants, unlike any we've come across before. Curieuse Island is home to a tortoise sanctuary. The entire island is a wildlife habitat where tortoises have lived for thousands of years, roaming free around the island. It's cool to just walk up to them and scratch their necks. They really like that. Such gentle souls.
Unlike any other reptile, the purring sounds they make could almost be prehistoric.
There was a nursery where the baby tortoises live until they're about 5 years old. They were so cute and active and seemed to be pretty hungry.
All of their food is found naturally on the island, such as mangoes dropping from the trees.
While on the island, a large squall came through and it just poured. The dust had washed away and the tortoises looked so happy and beautiful. It was an amazing experience to visit them like this in their natural environment. Seychelles, along with the Galapagos Islands, are the only places in the world where these giant tortoises still exist in the wild.
Along with giant tortoises, we were also searching for the elusive black parrot found only in Seychelles. So we visited their habitat in Vallee de Mai, home to the Coco de Mer palm and trees that actually walk.
And what is this called?
We call it Pandanus seychellarium. This is the
Pandanus
scientific
seychellarium.
name of my local name, Vaqua.
Aqua.
Why they move? Because of the search of light, sun,
yeah.
water, and good soil.
Okay.
You can see, yes?
So as other plants grow up and block their light, they move to another spot where there's more light.
Exactly. Loses the roots and then start with new roots. They do this mostly when they are small. For example, this one, you already noticed that it's a little bit bending on this side. It used to be here.
Almost like it's walking.
And with time, yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this one's trying to move itself off of the trail and down to the water.
Exactly.
the Coco de Mer palm.
It's one of the biggest leaves in the world.
Protected here in the park and native only to Seychelles, it also has the largest nut in the world.
This is the male part of the Coco de Mer. Oh, whoops.
Is it smooth? Yeah.
About the right size. This is almost like a lead weight.
Yeah, you can do arm. You can. There you go. There you can work your arms out. Lift her in the air.
And finally, with our guide Dave's help, we see them.
Over there, you see there's one? You see in the dry tree over there, there's one.
It's in the dry tree?
Yeah, the dry tree on the left. Yeah?
The famous black parrots.
My name is Dave. I work here in the special reserve Vallee de Mai, part of the UNESCO World Site Culture Heritage. Here you could see the black parrots, also the famous seeds, we call it the Coco de Mer, is a French name.
Well, thank you, Dave. We had a great tour.
And as we make our way back, the 10 days spent here in Seychelles brings home the realization of just how small our planet really is. And while sailing at a speed of 5 knots may seem slow, it gives us a chance to really see what's around us. The surprises, discoveries, experiences that otherwise are missed in a fast-paced, globally connected life. Until our next adventure.